Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
GHKL on Kaieteur Radio 99.1. GHKL on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It's Tuesday, June 22nd. Welcome to this edition of the National Outlook. Yesterday we talked about vaccine. Today we want to talk about oil and oil contract. The pressure is building, the publicity is growing. It started with the publisher and owner of Kaieteur News and the Kaieteur News Network, Glenn Lal. You know, whether I disagree with him, and I do disagree with him on occasion, on several things, he must be admired for his constancy, his energy, his drive with things related to oil and our other natural resources. He's taken the lead. He's put a lot of space out in his paper, a lot of time in his radio to get a message across that we have not been treated right by Exxon, that our leaders have not been clear and convincing with oil-related information. I agree on both counts. And that we should renegotiate the contract. Now he's gone on the road with members of his staff with placards for several weeks now. And as I said at the beginning, the pressure is growing on the government. The publicity is intensifying. It has now started, but there is ongoing efforts to bring about change with our relationship with Exxon. Excuse me. We have Melinda Janke, Mr. Anand Gulsaran, a former Auditor General. I think he also worked for a long time with the United Nations. This is a man who would not lend his name willy-nilly, casually, to something that does not have merit. They have written to Exxon, Melinda Janke, who I know, Mr. Gulsaran, who I did something for a book. I think it was a foreword or something like that a while back. So I met him briefly. So these are respected Guyanese, and there are other respected Guyanese who have lent their voice and name and signature to pressuring Exxon that we need things to be different. In Richmond Hill, a number of Guyanese took to the streets of Liberty Avenue. Liberty Avenue, and I understand, and Lefferts Boulevard, there was a table and people were collecting names and signatures to present to the Guyana government, to the PPP government, and I'll tell you why I mentioned that in a moment, that we need to renegotiate the contract. There are billions that can be had from environmental costs that we have to bear, from taxes that we have to pay for Exxon, for insurance that we need to get, and which Exxon has not really gotten for us in the event, God forbid, of an environmental spill. There are so many clauses in that contract that needs to be redone, and I am with that. I feel that we can, our circumstances are this now, our awareness are this. This is not caveat emptor, this is not buyer beware, this is where we are. And I am for that. As to whether the percentages are going to change or not, I don't know. I don't think so. But I feel that there are many other places where Exxon can be pressured to yield, to give back something to Guyana. It is interesting that in Richmond Hill, of all places in New York, Little Guyana, Little Berbice, that we have had a few voices and a few placards and a few faces saying renegotiate. This is a PPP stronghold overseas. It's not Brooklyn. It's not Flatbush Avenue. And I say that because I've lived not in Richmond Hill, but I've lived not far from there. I know the composition of the place. So when Guyanese are coming out, people who are spiritually tied to the PPP to say, do something, let's do something and do something to get better. I think it sends a message to the government, it's time to move. Until the next time, GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1, 99.5 FM. Thank you for joining the National Outlook.
Radio.